My name is Jennifer Davis. I'm an occupational therapist at Joy and Laughter Developmental Therapy in San Jose, California. Today I'm going to tell you why your child may be struggling with daily self-care tasks and how you can help them. Daily self-care tasks can include a lot of things, like getting dressed, brushing your teeth, helping with chores, and even going to the bathroom. Today we're going to focus on getting dressed, but many of the things that I'm going to tell you about can be applied to other activities too. I work with a lot of families, and I often have parents tell me how frustrating it is when they have to get their child dressed every day. Many of them also feel that their child is capable of doing it, but don't do it just to spite them. As a parent myself, I can understand the frustration, but I also know how to break down the activity to figure out where the child may be struggling, because I know that children are doing the very best they can with the skills they have available to them. One of the more common reasons children struggle with getting dressed is understanding the sequencing of the task they're doing. Getting dressed can be complicated. Does the child really understand all of the steps necessary to get dressed? Just because you help them get dressed every single day doesn't mean they really understand the steps. Let's think about putting your shirt on. We know that you have to get your head in the head hole, but how do you get it properly in the head hole so that you're properly wearing your shirt? Some kids may struggle with whether or not you put your head down the head hole or go through the shirt and up the head hole. Knowing the proper sequence of this will help the child with successfully getting their head into the shirt. Once our head in, we also need to do your arms. Or should we do the arms first? The sequence in itself doesn't really matter, but doing it the same way each time helps the child understand the process. First I put my head in, then the left arm, and then the right arm. Children often need the steps of activities broken down in a step-by-step order so they can follow the sequence. Number 2, does your child have the attention to complete the task? For some kids, there are just too many steps and they get lost along the way. When we're thinking about our shirt, we know there are a lot of steps in getting it on. Which order do we go first? Head, shoulders, knees, or toes? As we talked about before, the order doesn't really matter, but if you have to follow multiple steps in a sequence, you need to have the attention to make sure you're able to complete each step. For children who have sensory processing difficulties, the environment can have a really big impact on their ability to pay attention and complete the dressing task. Attention can be a really challenging topic for parents when it comes to getting dressed. Parents often feel like their child was able to do it one day, but not the other. What's the difference? Attention can often be that difference. And when we combine attention with sensory processing difficulties, it can be a really big challenge for kids. Let's consider a child who's getting dressed with a TV in the background. They're hearing the TV, which means half of their attention is on the TV and half is on the dressing task, which means they're only going to have half the attention and half the ability to complete the task, which may make sense why they could do it yesterday when the TV wasn't on, and they're struggling with it today with the TV on. Our children who have sensory processing difficulties can make it even more challenging to realize what is causing their attention to be shifting. If a child has sensory difficulties and the clothes today are just more itchy, their attention is focusing on that itchy shirt and not on how to do the steps of the activity. So when a child's attention doesn't seem to be there and they're having a hard time one day and not another, there may be some difficulties with sensory processing and general attention. The third major reason a child struggles with getting dressed is that they're still developing the motor skills needed to complete the activity. There are a lot of motor skills that are required for successfully getting dressed. Let's consider putting our pants on. Most people put their pants on by standing up, balancing on one foot, putting the pant leg over the other. If a child struggles with balance, the ability to stand on one foot to put the pant on is going to be incredibly difficult, and they'll probably fall down. If you fall down enough times, you probably don't want to do the task. We may simplify that task for them and ask the child to sit while putting the pants on. This can be incredibly helpful, but for some people who have significant postural control difficulties, even sitting down may cause a balancing problem. When sitting down and putting your pants on, you still need to shift your weight from one side to the other so that you're able to lift your leg. For many kids, this is a good way to modify the activity, but for some, it could still be a struggle. Once we get the pants on our feet, we still need to get the pants up over our hips. And for children who have generalized weakness or even just pants that are a little bit too small, it can be challenging to pull those pants up over the hip. In order to get the pants up over the hips, it does require some generalized strength and also the ability to use both sides of our body together. When trying to pull the pants with one side, it might be a little bit challenging. If we are able to coordinate both sides of our body and pull the pants together, we'll be more successful with getting them up over the hips. Once we've got the pants over the hips, we still need to worry about the motor challenges associated with the various fasteners associated with pants. Whether the pants have buttons, snaps, or straps, the child is going to have to coordinate their fine motor skills to get that fastener completed so the pants are successfully on. As you can see, there's a lot of things to consider when getting dressed. So next time you think your child is not getting dressed on purpose, you may want to think about some of the common struggles that children have and determine if your child may be struggling with one of those areas themselves. If you think your child is struggling with one of the skills needed to get dressed and you're having a hard time teaching them at home, help is available. Occupational therapists are specifically trained in breaking down the steps of everyday activities and helping people gain independence in everyday self-care tasks, like getting dressed. If you think occupational therapy might be right for you and your child, reach out and we can help set up a free consultation and let you know how we can help.